it is time to meet this week's second chance pet. She's described to have the wiggliest butt in the whole shelter. Oh, we love that. This is Abby Cadabby.
Aw, the adorable and snuggly 2-year-old bully mix, one of the sweetest gals we're told you will ever meet. She's now looking for a new forever home after arriving to the shelter as a stray. Joining us live to introduce us to Abby Cadabby is Sam Ellingson with the Humane Society for Southwest Washington. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having us. Yes, you're right. She is the snuggliest and wiggliest little girl. I also I have to keep my hand behind my back because I have cheese and she knows I have cheese. And as soon as she sees it, she goes absolutely nuts. And so the good thing is it keeps her close by. But also she's a little bit of a shark sometimes when she goes for cheese. So we're just taking things slow.
All right.
Cheese, truly one of the best tools in a dog trainer's arsenal.
This is true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at that attention, right? She's ready for it. And she is, when she sees you have the cheese in your hand, she's super gentle. But as soon as it hits the ground, she's just like, out of my way, give me that cheese. She's ready for it.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
girl.
Well, tell us a little bit about Abby Cadabby. She looks like such a sweet girl. She's got one of those just smooshable faces. What do we know about her?
Yeah, so we don't know very much, unfortunately. Abby is about 2 years old, we think, so she's still pretty young. She came to us as a stray around 3 weeks ago. So she's been with us since around the end of September. And she has been doing great here at the shelter. She does have a little bit of shyness in her kennel. That means that she's typically in one of our spaces in the shelter that is off the regular adoption floor in a private space because she gets a little grumpy when she sees folks walking by the kennel. And that's all we can consider is like why this dog doesn't have a great home, because she's so snuggly, but she's not able to be seen by people who come in. She's on our website, and of course we have her on here today. So we're trying to get her a little extra exposure because, as you can see, she's ready to find a hip to attach herself to with that new family.
And she got those just floppy ears.
know,
Her ears are
ears.
just amazing.
So cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has spent some time at some volunteers' homes. How did she do there?
Yeah, she's been doing some overnights because people here love her so much and they just want to get her some little breaks. And we know that she's done great in these homes, typically very chilled out, wants to hang out with her people, get a little bit of love, snuggle up on the couch. And then, also then our volunteers will go out to run an errand or go into the other room. And it sounds like she just sort of hangs out on the couch and just does her thing and waits for people to come back. So we think she's going to adapt to her new home pretty well. We also suspect she may be house trained. We're not entirely sure, but she does seem to hold it at the shelter. So we suspect any family who does adopt her should probably have a pretty should probably hold on. Should probably have a pretty easy time getting her house trained too. We almost had a disaster there.
Oh my gosh, I know. She's like, I know you got
have more. Yeah.
I know you're holding out on me. Oh, so cute. But I think this is such a great example too, Sam, of how, you don't always know that first impression in the shelter, in their kennel, it is not always an indication of what that dog's going to be like in your home. And they do need some time to kind of warm up to people and adjust to their new environment. What are some questions maybe that when people come in and are thinking about adopting, what's helpful for them to ask? Like, what should you want to learn from shelter volunteers and from staff to maybe have a better idea of what you're signing up for?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question because you're absolutely right. What we see in a shelter environment, what we see in the kennel is not necessarily what we're going to see when we get home. And most of our pets have some notes on them from our staff who works with them, from our volunteers who work with them. Now, a lot of those notes do make it over into their adoption summary and their description, so families can kind of read what to expect when they're on the when they meet them in person. But especially with dogs like Abby, when we're getting her out of the kennel and getting her into homes, like that's such a valuable thing. So families who come in to ask about, what else can you tell me about this dog that isn't necessarily in their description? It's a great question to ask.
Yeah, I think that's great.
If you have another dog at home, like in the case of Abby, we'd want to meet the other dogs or kids to make sure they're going to work.
And what is there's the 3-3-3 rule, right?
3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months.
That's right. Yeah.
Really let them come out of their shell.
All right, Sam, thank you for letting us meet Abby Cadabby here this morning. Yeah. The butt wiggles.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Hope you've got
Sam.
more cheese in that pocket.
That's what. That's true. All right, well, if you're interested in meeting Abby or checking out any of those other pets up for adoption, you can always go to hssw.org.
She has one of those faces that just looks like she's got a smile.
Permanent smile. I was thinking the same thing.